Yeah, hi Suresh. Thanks for joining.
Hey, hi. Hi, AJ. Very good morning.
Yeah, how are you doing?
Hey, thanks for asking, AJ. I'm doing good. How about you?
Yeah, I'm good too. Thanks. So,
Yeah.
so let me introduce myself first. I'm AJ. I'm having total 12 years of experience as a SQL database
Mm-hmm.
administration. I've been working
Mm-hmm.
with here for past 10 years, and we are also looking
Mm-hmm.
for who is having more than 8 days of experience and who can handle the project alone and who can
Yeah.
handle this project and we can be a point of contact for other people.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you have gone through this JD and I think you're comfortable with it.
Yes, AJ. So I just went to the JD before joining the call.
Hmm.
I think I can fulfill your requirement as per your expectations. And of course, right now I am also doing acting as a technical advisor.
That's
And
good.
under me, I have a team members of five people.
That's good to hear.
So yeah, I feel I will can fulfill your record.
Thanks. That good to hear actually. Okay, let's get into the technical discussion. Um,
Yeah.
do you know what is this difference between full and tail log backup? What is exactly the main difference between the?
Yes, of course. Backups are the key important role whenever any uninterrupted corruptions happen. We must say DBA. We must ensure have proper backups. Whereas coming to types of backups, the full backup and the tail log backup as the major difference is the tail log backup can fulfill your requirement at any point, certain point of time corruption occurred. We can recover till that specific point in time. Whereas in database backup, we can uh, we can take the entire DB of a backup at that particular point of time. That's it. Whenever you perform the tail log backup, the database will went to inaccessible mode, and that will be before last log backup before corruption,
Okay, that's good.
and that backup helps you to recover till any
Mhm.
specific point in time.
Okay, that's good. Uh, Is it possible to take the backup whenever the database is corrupted?
Can you repeat? Pardon.
Is it possible to take the backup whenever the database is corrupted?
That is depends two scenarios. One is the DB is accessible or inaccessible mode. When the DB is feel corrupted, we can check by still accessible, and if feel corrupted, we can check by running DBCC check DB, and it will check the integrity of health of the database and give you the detailed corruptions. Either it is a partial corruption, internal index corruptions. It can give you the specific error or any specific problem with one specific object. It will give you the details. Whereas it is inaccessible mode, we can perform the tail log backup and can recover with
Yes.
the previous last recent full backup
Yes.
followed by the log backups, and then this
Yes. Yes. I got the
performed
answer. Yeah.
tail log backup we
Yeah,
can
Suresh, I
recover.
got the answer. Yeah, tail log backup we can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know which parameter we have to use whenever we are taking the backups, whenever the database is corrupted?
Uh, with format,
Yes, almost there.
no truncate.
With continue after error, that is. Yeah, got
Continue
it.
error.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks.
that's right.
That's good. And coming to this, what is this kind of
Yeah.
default instance and named instance? We have two kinds of instances here, there, right? Default instance and named instances. Can you define what is this?
Yes, of course. Whenever we're performing new installations, depends upon the customer requirement. We have to decide it. Either we can install the SQL Server with the default host name
Mhm.
of a server. For example, if your machine server name is equal to host name and your host name is Flipkart, then while installing, it will take the host name as a default, and the services will take mounted with MS
Mhm.
SQL Server. Whereas if you wanted the customer on specific name of a SQL Server instance, then it should be install the SQL Server host name followed by the user defined name. So if you to conclude, what is the major difference is the default instance will take the default hostname of a computer machine, whereas in user defined named instance is user specific specifying some name, user specified name. Then the SQL will connect host name followed by the user defined
Okay.
name.
So if the user is wants to put any customized name, then he has to go for a named instance, right? Yeah, good.
That's it. Obviously, it will take and mount as a computer machine name slash
Mm-hmm.
user
Good,
defined name.
good. What is this kind of blockings? Like why these blockings are happening and how you identify these blockings? And do you know header blocker? Can you explain all the steps?
Yeah, of course. I faced this kind of situations very often, especially whenever the application team is running major loads that we used to get the blockings. There are two types of blockings where self blocking and the header blockings. So whenever trying to what do you mean if you ask me what do you mean of blocking, when multiple users trying to access the same object, the blocking will occur. Whenever, for example, if there is no proper lock escalation is followed, then one of the user trying to update the same object, one of the user is trying to select the same object, and definitely the blocking will occur. So this process, in simple terms, we can trying to multiple users trying to access the same object at the same time with the different DML operations, the blocking occur. Right? So to avoid these kind of situations, we need to find the header block by select star from sys processes where blocked is greater than or less than equal to
Okay.
zero. So it will list you the SP ID, which is the session ID, and which is the blocked by column, which is the header block. If the specified header block is causing with the select statement, the specified select statement, then we need to immediately report to the application team and then get the approvals. We can go ahead and kill the specified session. Before killing any sessions, it is also matters that when is the last batch time. Last batch time is nothing but when is the last session actually starts time. If it is too long, like for example 10 hours since it is running and then select statement you are trying to run, then you have to bear with the rollback also. It will take a lot of time and it stuck the chances of stuck in kill the rollback
Mm-hmm.
stage.
So,
So you have to very
yeah.
be careful and
Yes,
cautious
that's
while killing the sessions of a simple select statements also. By then, after killing those select statements which is actually causing the header block, the other session will easily access the object and can resolve the blockings.
do you really think that is a good practice when we are killing the header blocker in the production server?
That's what the utility is highlighted before. Then we need to be very cautious. Like for example,
What if
I
the
said,
customer is
if it,
not willing to kill that session? What is that other chances like to resolve the issue rather than killing this header blocker?
how is the only way where we need to decide based on the last start time.
Why don't we tune
Okay,
that query? Like,
if
why don't we keep tune that query?
no, we can. If you tune, how will you tune if the already the session is causing? We need to clear it up. Otherwise, if you open the new plan, if you're trying to tune that session will also will cause
Yes,
affect the already existing blocking.
yes.
So we need to focus to resolve at the moment how to resolve for this specific scenario, which should avoid other users not to affect.
Okay, I understand. Good. I
So
have
yeah.
another question. Like, what do you think about this blockings, Suresh? Like, is it good for the SQL Server, or like we have to avoid them? Like, how these blockings happen? Like,
Yeah,
is it good for the SQL Server health
yeah,
or not?
yeah,
Like, just let me know that.
definitely. Definitely, we can avoid before if you resolve the blockings at this moment in as per previous scenario, and then we need to focus on how to avoid and how to tackle the blockings. So the
Question
blockings
is
can be
actually
avoided
this.
in two. three
No, so
stages.
actually,
One
my
is
question is,
tuning the.
sorry, actually, it is. My question is it good for the SQL Server? Why these blockings? Why these blockings? Is it good or a bad thing for SQL Server?
Definitely no.
No.
Definitely no. It will directly proportional to affect the other users, not to process the any processes in simple terms.
That's good, but it can say like blockings are good if they can last for a very less time, like fraction of seconds. These are good for the
That
SQL
can
Server
be
to maintain the
that
data
can
integrity, what I'm saying. It
yeah. That
lasts
is
for a
as I
long
said.
time, but it's not good, right? I guess.
Sorry for the interruption. As I said, the initial time it is called self-blocking. So it can be doesn't matter, and I cannot say it is good or for the SQL Server or not, but it can be avoided because it's a matter of self-blocking is a matter of seconds and it will come and go, and it is not an issue.
See, sometimes I can see this system sessions are blocking other sessions.
Mhm.
What does it mean? Like which one?
System sessions like boot cleanup, right?
Yeah,
Boot cleanup,
ghost cleanup.
ghost
Yes.
cleanup. Yeah, yeah. So there are scenarios where sometimes delete operations are happening. For example, these scenarios can ghost cleanup scenario can be observed in archiving process.
Yes.
For example, if you are trying to removing top 10 records in delete statement and update statement and again delete in small
Mhm.
chunks, there are chances of SQL Server time will take very long, and the backend it will still hold the session even after completing the delete operations and this whatever
Okay.
operations after completing. So to avoid those cleanup, we need to focus on the buffer cleanup, system
Yes.
cache cleanup. We can done get that can
Yes, you're
be
right. Good.
avoided.
Could you please let me know what is this ghost cleanup process?
Uh, so the ghost cleanup can be avoided and can clean up by two ways. Like for example, as I said, highlighted in the before statement, it also can be chances of lack of memory, and that can be avoided in two ways, like
Mm-hmm.
sp underscore clean db space, and we can clean all data file ghost records. Okay. For example, if you run a script called exsc sp underscore clean db underscore free underscore space, it will clear all the ghost records from your databases. Of it is if you observe the ghost cleanup is
Okay.
pointing to one specific database,
Okay.
we can run this specific system store procedure called exec
Okay.
sp underscore clean free
You know
space.
the frequency of what is the frequency of this ghost cleanup process? How so how I mean how frequently it is happening? So, yeah, to catch by
Every 10
this five
seconds.
seconds actually. 5 seconds actually.
After every 10 seconds,
Every 5 seconds. Yes, good. Guess
5
yeah,
seconds.
good
Yeah.
guess, Cautious.
Okay.
Have you worked on lock shipping?
Yeah. Yes, AJ. I worked
Okay.
on the lock
Do you
shipping
know
database.
this tough file? Why it is? What is the
Of
use
course,
of it like?
AJ. So tough files. Yeah. Tough file is nothing but the transaction undo file, whereas it will holds the log information that are not
Mhm.
yet committed to the secondary. So whenever you try to perform the next log backup, it will definitely calls the tough file. Whatever uncommitted data is there, it will capture and then try to commit the next log
Mhm.
backup to the
Okay.
secondary. So tough file will mostly you see in log shipping and that plays a major key role
Which
in
mode
log shipping.
it will be created? We have, I think, couple of modes in lock shipping. Which mode the tough file will create? Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
mode you are saying?
I think we have
Mm,
two modes, right, in lock.
standby mode. Oh yeah, standby mode.
Yeah.
I think so.
Why we don't need this tough file in no recovery mode?
Because you in no recovery mode, uh, it will not require because it will allow you to restore top of the easily. But whereas in standby mode, it has read access, read operations.
It's
There are
exact,
chances of uncommitted data, right?
exactly. Yeah. There is a chance of getting some data
Yeah,
reads, whereas
yeah,
users are
the
able to
obvious.
read the secondary database. In no recovery
Yeah.
mode, users are unable to read the database from the secondary. Yes, you're right. Mm, do you know about this recovery models? What is the use of these recovery models?
Yes, Ajay. In recovery models, we have majorly full recovery
Mhm.
model, simple recovery model, bulk recovery model.
What is the main difference between simple recovery model and full recovery model?
In simple recovery model, definitely the log checkpoint will keep on updating flushes the data from the log file, from the flushes the direct checkpoint. We can call it as a direct checkpoint. Checkpoint will flushes that keep on to the data file, and there is no we cannot perform the log backups, and the log truncation will be
Okay.
faster.
Which is the best practice while you're working with the production server? Full or simple?
Obviously, full recovery model, most of the
Mhm.
modes will use until unless if you use. Give me a minute. My laptop battery is
Yeah,
low.
yeah. Take
Just
your
give me
time.
a
Take your
minute.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry, I just had a
that's
battery. So whereas if you ask me which is best practices, obviously full recovery model. Most of the scenarios I have been noticed in the almost production environment. Until unless there is a bulk modifications and transactions happening, then definitely I would recommend advise the team to change to bulk recovery model.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Good. Coming to this backups. So whenever taking the differential backup, where these changes are going
yeah,
to store, like in which where like these changes to be
yeah,
stored.
definitely. Yeah, in DCM we call it as differential change map. Okay, so these are the actual pages will be stored. For example, after full backup, you perform after full backup, there are certain changes will perform against the database, right? Those changes after full backup will stored in the DCM pages. Whenever you perform the differential backup, these will call to the DCM pages directly and will take the changes of the backup. That's it. Differential backup will perform the backup only the changes after full backup.
Do you use any third-party tools to take the backups, or do you still use the native backups?
To be frank, we were using networker networker backup tool, and we have separate backup team like networker backup tool,
There is a
Veeam
dedicated
backup,
team for that. Yeah.
TSM backups has been scheduled.
Mhm.
But later, some critical databases we are performing native backups, and those critical application databases. After performing native backups, we are pushing those backups to the centralized blob, Azure blob.
Mhm. What
So
is
we
the
are slowly moving and trying to all the backups after getting the application owner approval. We are in the process, so we are moving, trying to centralize and reducing the storage of the on-premises
okay?
right now.
Okay. What what is your retention policy for backups?
Um, by the default, are you saying you're asking retention policy in maintenance plan by default?
I mean, how long you guys are maintaining the backups?
Acha, okay. Yeah, at right now at this moment. Uh, we are for native backups by default. Full backup is we are holding 2 weeks, and the differential backup we are holding 10 days, and the log backups, we are scheduling the retention policy for 3 days. Whereas coming to tools, there are each client is using different tools. Like as I said, the VM is different retention policies, and network backup team application databases for network backup types are holding different retention policies.
Yeah. How, what are this index like? How it will be helpful for the SQL Server to fetch the data? What kind of indexes
In
are there?
simple terms,
Yeah.
I can say a quick reference of a table. For example, if you just assume a simple book without index, it will be you don't know where the data is stored. If you have an index, you have a quick reference, right? So, in simple terms, index is the key important rule to give a quick reference of a data of a particular table that will give you faster performance
Mhm.
whenever you read the operation.
Okay. Is there an impact whenever we are wrongly using the index or we have any um, wrong indexes?
If you
Is
ask
there an
me
impact?
that we can categorize two ways. For example, missing indexes
Mm-hmm.
over unused indexes,
Mm-hmm.
and these are the two areas where if you're
Okay.
not using the
So
proper
saying like it is
areas.
also impact the SQL Server if you're not using the indexes properly. That is also possible, right?
Uh, yes, of course,
Yeah.
obviously.
Right. Mm-hmm. Fine. Do you know these kinds of pages we have in SQL Server? What kind of pages we have?
You're asking
Yeah, types
types
of
of
pages.
pages.
Yes.
GAM as GAM.
Which page stores the free space information? You know that?
Free extent, and you're asking
There
which
is a dedicated page which can store the free space information of pages.
yeah.
Do you know that? Like the name of it, the name of the page?
Uh, is GAM
Not, I guess. Okay, fine. That is actually PFS, actually, page free
page
space.
file system? Yeah, yeah.
Page free space, PFS, that can store all the free space information. Fine. And do you know this about this data cache, how it will work and what is the use of data cache exactly? How it can improve the performance of the SQL Server? Data
Yeah.
caching. Can you explain that?
1 minute. Of course, data cache is in SQL Server plays a main important role to enhance performance or slow running performances to detect in SQL Server. So whenever you stores any operations, and definitely it stores in buffer manager. Okay. So if at all, for example, I said before that clean buffers, there are queries DBCC clean buffer system clean buffers. If you are not proper in caches maintaining well, then definitely it will affect the query performance. There are a situation where there is a one store procedure which is running slow, whereas it was running last week very fraction of minutes, but the application team is complaining that this specific store procedure why it was running very slow. As soon as I checked, there is a very bad planned cache stored for this specific store procedure. I just cleared the DBCC free pro cache. I have a select command to get the hexadecimal value of the specific store procedure. I collected that, and then I had cleared the cache for that specific store procedure. After that, the store procedure was running as expected. This was one scenario. I just fixed the issue, and the customer was so happy on this time. So cache, well maintaining cache was not in proper, then definitely it will affect the performance.
Okay, fine. So let's get into some troubleshooting part. So so
Yeah.
user is complaining that he is unable to connect to the SQL Server and
Hmm.
he's getting some error. What
Hmm.
is your approach? How your
Definitely.
approach is there and how, what are the things you check?
You're not able to access SSMS into or able to connect or
SSMS.
server
SSMS.
RDP.
No, no, SSMS itself.
Okay. Uh, Two things. We can check if it's not able to inside the SQL server, is not getting into it. First, trust connection was there or not. Second thing, he has sufficient permission or not. We can check by already who is able to access it, what level of permission is there with the other user. And then we have Windows error event viewer is there. If you go to run command event and then we can have error logs in listed. Then we can go and check like what error exactly it is happening, what event it is happening. For example, there are chances of lack of permission. Second thing, he's not trusted permission, even though if he has admin permission also has not connection. And the second part, we can go and check the services are up and running with the server is happening and running or not in SQL Server Configuration Manager. Also, we can check it is running or not. And then key areas we can check majorly in event viewer only to get the exact error and get the clue.
Oh, good. Fine. Good. Good. Maybe he's using this sysadmin access and he forgot the password. Can you able to help him to find this as a password in any other system databases?
You mean to he's a SQL login user?
He's having sysadmin access. He is using as a
Okay,
password.
okay. But what login? He's a Windows login or SQL login?
It's a SQL login only. He has the password,
Yeah.
but he forgot the password. Can you help him like to fetch the password from any other databases like system databases or something? You can find it.
Uh, we can reset the SA password, right? We have did one
Yeah,
via
that's
command prompt.
fine, but he still need a old password. Can you find anywhere like in SQL? Is there any possibility we can find the
We can
password?
find, we can find, but it will be encrypted. It will be encrypted. We can map the same
Question
password.
is it possible to get the exact password what he has already
If
forgotten?
if he
That's
forgot,
my question. Yes, that's what my question is.
no, it is not possible because it is encrypted. But you can name the same credentials, but the SQL login to if you are trying to move to other instances.
Fine. Yes, good. Got it. So we cannot get it. Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Still we
yeah,
can reset it, but we cannot get the old password.
yeah. That's right.
I think I'm done with the discussion, Suresh. We all have a good.
Yeah,
I think we had a good conversation. Uh,
yeah. Of course, and here also same. And it was nice interaction with you, AJ.
thank you. Okay, I'll inform the HR and she will let you know. Like, is there any second round or something? She'll get back to you.
Hmm.
Okay.
Sure, sure.
Nice
Nice
talking
talking
to
to
you,
you, AJ. Have a
Suresh.
nice day. Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah.